What's up everyone, welcome back. So in today's video I wanted to talk about another important topic which a lot of people tend to make a mistake with, and that is fungus. A lot of people think that this small little black spot that you see on the leaf is fungus, and they end up using chemicals or pesticides or fungicides, insecticides, whatever it is. They start spraying it on the succulent, and then the succulent gets even more worse. Always remember, you need to identify the problem before you diagnose it. Now over here there is one black spot on the lowest leaf, and I think if I'm going to shift it over here, there is another black spot over here. This has nothing to do with fungus or some kind of infection. This is because I had forgotten to water this succulent. It was in direct sunlight, due to which it started to get dehydrated. Now because of this dehydration, some parts inside the leaf, that is the cells, have started to die, and due to which they tend to put this black appearance on the leaves. They usually start with a round form, and eventually the leaf will start to turn yellow. Like you can see, this was the early leaf that the cells have started to die because of underwatering and because it was in direct sunlight. Now whenever you experience something like this, please do not spray anything. The best you can do is move your succulent to indirect bright light for a short period and do a proper watering. Water until the water starts passing through the drain hole. Keep it in a place where there is a good amount of indirect bright light but no direct sunlight. Do not keep it in shade, otherwise your succulent will start to stretch. Probably for a month or so, keep it in a place where there is a lot of bright light with a good amount of intensity. But there is nothing to be worried. As soon as you start your watering, the newer leaves will start to grow, and these leaves that have these black spots will eventually fall off. They will turn yellow like this and they will fall off, but the new leaves will start to grow better. So this is just related with underwatering. The cells inside the leaves tend to die. There is nothing to be worried. There is no infection. There is no fungus attack on this succulent. So do not spray anything, because I've seen people doing this on Facebook pages wherein people ask questions like, I have a black spot on the leaf, and then there is a flood of answers. Spray alcohol, spray this, spray that, and then eventually the succulent starts to die. Because of course whenever you spray anything, whether it's an insecticide, pesticide or fungicide, they usually tend to contain oils, and that is going to completely destroy the farina, and then eventually the succulent will start to die. Because the main problem is not addressed over here, which was underwatering, but rather than that you started to spray stuff on it, and that is going to further damage the succulent. So be extremely careful. As we all know, the most common kind of fungal attack that you are going to see on your succulent, which might happen very soon because the climate is changing, we are getting into the winter season. There are high chances that succulents might get affected with powdery mildew, because powdery mildew is the only kind of fungal infection that is very common in succulents, which we have spoken about this before in our videos as well. So apart from powdery mildew, other funguses are very rare. Again, if you have a place that is very well ventilated, you have good amount of direct sunlight, there is ample amount of space, then fungus attack is very rare. The only type of fungus attack that can happen during the winters or by the end of winters is powdery mildew. Now from my experience, powdery mildew does not suddenly appear on your existing collection. They might come in from other succulents. Like let's say you have purchased some succulents online, and if the seller succulents already have powdery mildew, then they can be introduced in your garden. Or if your succulents are in very organic matter and there is rainfall, and at times it rains during winters, so that cold weather, moist, damp condition with very high organic soil can promote powdery mildew. I never had issues with my existing collection having powdery mildew, probably because there's a lot of airflow, there is ample amount of sunlight, the soil is very low in organic matter. So my existing collections have never got powdery mildew. They have come in from the succulents when I had purchased them. I had made a video on it. This powdery mildew had turned up on those succulents. Thankfully, I had kept those succulents away, because whenever I get new succulents, at least for a month or so, I tend to keep them isolated, quarantined in another area. If there is any issue, if there is any pest, if there is any fungus or anything that cannot attack my existing collection, because I already have a very huge existing collection, and if powdery mildew somehow enters into that collection, it is going to be catastrophic. So I have to be extremely careful that whenever I'm getting a new plant, I have to keep it away from my existing collection. That is the only issue with powdery mildew. But this one that you're seeing is not an issue. You do not need to be worried. Do not spray anything. If you are worried, if you are panicking, then the most you can do is keep this succulent away from the others, but it is not going to affect other succulents, because this succulent is among my other existing collection, and it's only this succulent that is having issue because I forgot to water. Another issue, this is an Echeveria Peach Pride. You can see the size of the leaves are very, very thin, which means that this can get dehydrated much faster compared to our other plump Echeverias or other succulents that have fatter leaves. But this one has very thin leaves, so probably it got affected much faster with underwatering, but there is nothing to be worried. I have moved it, I've started watering. That's why the leaves are looking a little bit plump. There were a lot of wrinkles day before yesterday, but now it is looking much better. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that you like this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.